Good evening, all you long distance motorcycle riders and roadside attraction people. Roadhogger here in Panama City. It's day two of my trip. Um, I left St. Augustine about 8:30 in the morning. Google Maps said that it was like 291 miles, 4.5 hours. My Odo said 340, and it took me about 5.5 hours. Uh, I didn't take any video because 95, I-10, everybody's done that. That's all super slabbing it. So one of the interesting things was I stopped at a rest area I never stopped at before on I-10. It was called the Gadsden rest area. Gadsden, like the rattlesnake don't tread on me flag thing. Uh, Florida is basically like flat and straight roads and stuff, but this is a rest area that's up on a pretty high hill, and there's like these twisty things to get up to the top of the hill. It was the strangest thing I ever experienced in my life. Other people were mentioning it also. It was like, oh my God, to get to this rest area is like taking a scenic drive. But so after I left there, I took the next exit, and it was ended up being like 69, 70 miles through Florida farm country and small towns to get to Panama City. And this entire trip, I nearly saw another motorcycle. And it that road was high state road was pretty weird because it was like 65, and then all of a sudden they go 55, 45, 35. You're in a small little town. It was like almost like, was I expecting like Barney Fife in a Waldo, Florida situation, looking to hand out tickets? So I was like, I'm throttling back, downshifting to get into this right speed zone. So I ended up starting seeing more motorcycles when I started getting into Panama City proper. But the rally has been going on since Wednesday. But yeah. I ended up getting to the hotel like an hour early. They still let me check in, which was pretty cool. And later on, there's like a bunch of motorcycle people, biker people staying here also. And the hotel is completely full because evidently there's some sort of high school championship soccer match going on in town. So this hotel is like completely full. It's pretty weird. Um, so this morning, I had the hot breakfast here at the Best Western. It's like pretty good. I mean, I've been to some places where the eggs, boil on the bag eggs, is like runny, and the meat is like tastes soy like and stuff. And if they have sausage gravy, there's like no sausage in it, and it's like so salty. It's like they made it with seawater or something like that. But here, the eggs were like perfect. They had potatoes, they had sausage patties and links. They had meaty sausage gravy and really good biscuits, and the waffle station, and the typical cold cereal stuff, and fruit and yogurt and blah blah blah. So I mean, pretty good spread. I was actually pleasantly surprised. So that started at like 7. So me and a bunch of the other motorcycle people were like all watching our radar weather apps and stuff like that, seeing when this is going to blow through. And first it was like maybe 10 or whatever, and it was pouring, and not bad, but bad enough. And it ended up clearing up like actually around noon or so. So I ended up like putting on my rain pants, but I wore my fringe jacket, and I just went for it because it was overcast, but it wasn't rainy. But the roads were all still pretty wet, and I headed to the beaches. I mean, I was wanting to go see a roadside attraction. I posted on the Facebook thing. I went to the Jaws gift shop, which has got this giant shark, which the open mouth is the entrance into the gift shop, and the thing is like huge. It's like half the shark is the height of the building, and then the tail goes up probably about another 20 or 30 feet or something like that. It's just huge. So, pardon me. Anyway, I ended up buying a shot glass there, and then I decided I was going to go to the Harley Davidson dealership. Of course, buy a shot glass there and stuff. So it wasn't that far. I think eight or so miles from there and stuff. But I went by the sinking ship Ripley's museum thing, and I was going to pull in, and they had a big sign there that said paying customers only, because I guess it's bike week. They want a bunch of people taking up their small parking lot, and I didn't want to end up having to get in some sort of crap fest with staff or security or whatever. But so I just had to bypass that, and then right behind that was the Upside Down building. So I don't know. Maybe tomorrow I'll try to hit those places and get a picture of stuff. But I went to the Harley Davidson dealership, and they had a huge parking lot, and the place, it almost reminded me of the Destination Daytona place for Bike Week in Oktoberfest. But the place was a complete full of motorcycles and all kinds of biker people and stuff. But I went in there and got myself my obligatory shot glass from the place, and it was like wall to wall people. And by then it was like after 2 o'clock or so. I hadn't eaten since breakfast, so I ended up getting a Polish sausage sandwich and a lemonade there, and that ended up being like $22, not including the tip. But it was like being at I posted on Facebook, it was like being at a state or a county fair where you're held hostage by all the vendors that are here and stuff. But I mean, it was a good sausage sandwich. I mean, I have to admit. So, but it was sunny at that point. But I'm watching the weather app, and there was another front moving in. It was supposed to be hitting like close to 5 o'clock or so, and it was like a little after 4. And I said, "Yeah, you know what? Let's just err on the side of caution," and I hot-footed it back to the hotel. And I got here, and all the bikes that were here when I left were still here. And I was like, "What's going on? Nobody else went out, you know, blah blah blah." So I was out having a smoke in the front area, and one of the guys come out, and I was like, "Did you guys go out today?" And it's like they went and hired an Uber, and which I guess is smart, but I mean, it was sunny. I mean, out by the beaches area, but they hired an Uber for the 6 of them. It was like it ended up being $10 a piece, $60 each way. So, but between 6 people, I guess that wasn't so bad. But you know, they were drinking, which is wise, because like I don't bike and drink. That's just, and then biking and drinking and raining. That's just a triple combination bad, you know. So I would have liked to have gone down to some of the venues down there playing live music, and then tonight they were having the finals for the Miss Thunder Beach bikini contest and stuff at Hammerheads, and I drove by that place, and the parking lot was completely packed on that one, so I just bypassed that one also, because they had the semifinals this afternoon at like 2 o'clock, but it's like, so, you know, I'm kind of missing out on some of the music and stuff like that, but the weather here has been really poor. The hotel TV is satellite, and it keeps cutting out because my phone and my iPad keep popping up with lightning in your area and stuff. So, and it's raining outside right now, so it's like, this is horrible. Tomorrow's supposed to be like, I think 50% or something like that for rain also. So I'm not saying that this trip is turning out to be a wash, but no pun intended, or maybe pun intended, but it's a wet one, and it's, you know, it's almost like last year when I went road tripping in May too. It's like, you know, I would expect April showers bring May flowers, but you know, it's May. Let the weather calm down a little bit. We want to do a little bit of traveling here. So anyway, I'm here till Monday. Tomorrow, I'm hoping the weather breaks a little bit so I can go do a few of those roadside attractions, and some of the venues are still going on. Maybe see some of the vendors and stuff. Not that I'm going to be spending any big money, since, you know, I just bought this motorcycle, but heck, you never know. But I'm actually, despite the weather, I am having some fun, and we'll just see how this goes. I'm playing it by ear right now, because I'm watching the weather projections, and where I'm headed up through Alabama, Georgia, and up to Tennessee, it looks like it's like 88% rain like the entire way. And it's like, if there's one thing I don't want to do, which I've kind of experienced before, is get caught in Tennessee hill twisty roads and stuff, hauling my load and stuff. You know, I mean, I'm only hauling like 60 pounds worth of gear, which is half the weight of like a 2-up. You know, if you know what I mean, because I don't have no woman on the seat behind me and stuff. But it's still heavy, and there was one incident today where I was at a stoplight and I went to go take off, and she started swirling on me a little sideways, and I wasn't even rolling on the throttle that hard, but didn't go down. But I mean, it was a definitely an eye opener situation, So you just your skill level kicks in, kind of some of your muscle memory and stuff. It's like you roll off the throttle, and you get back on them bars, and don't make no sudden movements, and it turned out all right. But I mean, yeah, the roads were all pretty wet there for quite a while before it all steamed off, into the afternoon and stuff. But yeah, I'm having some fun. I'm going to be playing it by ear. I was hoping to spend 2 weeks on the road. I don't know how that's actually going to work, but I'm going to try to hit some bunker biker people and head north some, and then play it by ear, watching the weather and stuff. So that's all I really got to report for right now. So other than that, this is we'll see how we go when we stop this thing, because this remote clicker don't work all that great. So we're gonna say good night and God bless from Roadhogger on the road. And two, and three.